Good morning, students. So here is an example, or good afternoon, I guess. Here's an example of what you will be creating. This is an infographic. I created one based off of the 13th Amendment, and this is a PDF downloaded version of it that you're looking at right here. So this is the finished product. I'm going to show you what it looks like to create this and how to get to this point. But if you look at this, you'll see that you know very clearly what my amendment is, and it's represented graphically, which means with a combination of text, like words and images, and text and images together. The colors matter in terms of it being from a professional graphic design point of view, meaning it should be appealing to look at. It shouldn't seem messy. It can be a little bit crowded like mine is, but it still is interesting to look at and not too messy for the eye. You can see I decided on a color scheme early. I used light purples and dark purples, and I'll show you how I was able to do that even with the images. I use shapes inside Google Drawing. I'm going to show you how to do that. Then everything here is hyperlinked. So if you scroll over 13th Amendment, you see that comes up and you can see the link. Same thing for all the images. Same thing for this. This actually links to a video on YouTube. Same thing for over here. And then for this image here. So that is what the finished product looks like, in addition to a works cited page. Now I'm going to show you how I got there. All right, so first I'm going to go back to my Google screen. And what I'm going to do is show you how to get started. So you already looked through the directions. These are your directions. Then it said to watch the video to get started, of course. So second, it says to choose an amendment to research and write the number. So make sure you do that. So you can look on your Bill of Rights investigation in Google Classroom from last week, or look down here and kind of just scroll through the amendments and articles that I included related to these amendments. All right, next you're going to complete the research using the InfoGraphic planning tool that you'll find in Google Classroom. So a blank one looks just like this. So basically what you'll do is to go in and put your amendment number, and then you're going to just copy and paste the original amendment text. So I included two different links for you, Library of Congress or just a clean Google Doc with the links. So you're going to take, let's say you choose to do Amendment 1, you're just going to copy the text from Amendment 1, and then you'll just paste it right here. And then your source for that would just be this website up here. So that's pretty easy for that part. For your explanation, this is where it gets harder. So first, what the amendment meant as was written in 1791. We did that last week. You can get that from your Bill of Rights investigation. How it has been interpreted over the years. For that, you can look at these two websites, this one or this one, and then explanation of any controversies. Again, these two websites are going to help you with that. Key thing is on this website, the More Perfect Podcast website, there's actually some songs there that kind of talk about how it's been interpreted over the years, as well as links to a podcast that I'll talk about in a second. All right, next is the fun part, the modern day research. So that's where you're going to go back to the directions document and look at all these articles that I found for you. So there's either articles or audio that you can look at. You only need to look at one. You can look at many more than that if you would like to, but I'm not going to be giving you unlimited time. But you can just look at one, two if you want to, three, four, that it's up to you. But you do have to cite any ones that you decide to use. So once you open one of those articles and read it, so let's say you decide to do this one about protests in sports because you're concerned about freedom of speech, you'd read it and see kind of what's jumping out at you. You'll add those notes here. So what you want to do here is when you're reading it, keep in mind the IQ, keep in mind how the article relates to that specific amendment. You're not writing a full summary, it can be brief. All right, so after you've done that, again, you're putting the website down for each of these where you got the information, keeping track as you go. And then last but not least, you're going to find some images relevant to your amendment. Now, if you are someone who wants to draw your own images using Google Drawing, you can write here, I will draw my own image. And so you don't have to cite a source. But if you want to use images that you find, you're just going to do some Google searches for them, just like I did. So I searched for 13th Amendment and found this original one from the Library of Congress, which I know is a reliable source. And then I searched for chain gangs because I know that after reading about my amendment, I saw that that was related. And then I just wanted some symbols of people in chains. So I searched there. So in addition, in my article that I used for my modern research, I found some really great quotes that I wanted to use. So I decided on this article. And inside the article, there was a video on YouTube, and I found that video, and I'm going to use that in my infographic as well. So I would include all those links over here. All of those links will help you later when you have to create your works cited, and I will show you later in class how to do these formal citations. But real quick, it's not very difficult. All you have to do is get an add-on that's called Easy Bib Bibliography Creator for your formal citation, and we're going to talk about that. Okay, next, getting started on my infographic. So here is my infographic, my finished one. I'm going to show you how I did all of that. All right, here's a blank template of an infographic. What you'll notice when you open your Google Drawings template is the canvas that you're drawing on. That's what it's called, the canvas. It has kind of that grid-like pattern. Do you see that? Well, you are actually going to change the background color. I decided to change my background color to black because I like how things look on a black background. You might change it to white, whatever. How you do that is you right-click or do that two-finger tap, then click background and change the color. So I'm going to do black. And then also what I want you to do right away is stretch it to be as wide as you want it to be. Some people like me, I like to do mine wide. You also could have stretched it to be skinny and super long if you wanted. It's up to you. But I recommend wide because our computers go widescreen. So I'm just going to do it real wide. And then I can start. So everything in your infographic that you're going to use is either going to be images that you pull elsewhere or shapes from within here. So how I made this 13th Amendment look like that is I used word art. So I went to Insert, Word Art, and I wrote 13th Amendment. And then I press Enter. And then I took it and I changed the font to Impact because that's the one I like. And I kind of shrunk it just by join to the corner. And then I went to the fill color and changed that to white. And then you can right click on and go center on page and center it horizontally and center it vertically. So that's what I did. You can place this anywhere you want. Again, you have complete design control. It just needs to be graphically professional. So I'm going to take a pause to show you. If you just Google the word infographic, you're going to see what infographics look like. There's a bunch of great examples online for you. There's infographics about planets, 5 tips to keep your chin up, infographics about camping. But what you'll notice about all of them is they have a mix of text and images, and they teach you something in a creative way where it is interesting to look at, doesn't take you much time to read it. And that's our goal with this, to teach about the history of your Bill of Rights and its current context. All right, going back to the 13th Amendment. So what I did next is I decided, I have my planning document complete. I want my overall layout to be something where I talk about how it was in the past to how it is in the present. So I decided, as you can see, to do these ovals to include my text. At first, insert, shape, and I found the shape that I wanted. And then I kind of just drew them out. And then I took it, I copied it, and I dragged it over so I could have the same size. Now you see it's covering a little bit. So what I can do is I can click on the shape and go order, send to back, and it can go behind the words. Order, send to back, and it can go behind the words. To type in the shapes, I can click on it again, do that two-finger tap, edit text, and I can start to type. To change the color, I can go to the fill, change the color to whatever I want. To change the line color, I can change that to whatever I want, and then I can make it thicker. I go over here. I know I'm going fast, but it's because I just want you to explore. And I just want you to explore what you're doing. All right, so next, what I want you to do is look up here, and what you're going to notice is you also have lines you can use, and then also all of these different types of shapes. Play with that. Okay, to insert images. So you could look for the images directly from here, but when you get to this step, you're already going to have found your images. I recommend just going to where you found your images, and then you already pasted the website for them over here, right, in your planning tool. But you can also get the website at your image by going to that two-finger tap, copy image address. And then when you go back to your Google Drawing, you're going to go to Insert, Image by URL, and then you can just paste it in and click Insert. Let's say I want to recolor this image. I'm going to move it over here and I'm going to shrink it down. Let's say I want to recolor it. I want it to match this yellow and green color scheme that I had chosen here. I can click on the image and click Format Options and go to Recolor, and I can choose something that's more like a yellow and green tone. Pretty cool, right? And then I can also click on it and maybe add a deeper line color that matches my tone. And then it starts to tie in. So these things are important to help you spread your message. That's the purpose of this. I think that's good for now as far as how to create it. Next, I'm going to show you that when you finish, what you're going to do is you're going to go to File, Download as JPEG, and then you'll upload that JPEG to Google Classroom. But again, I'll show you that later. I think you have a good tutorial on how to get started and all these steps. I hope you have fun with this project. And of course, let me know when and if you have questions. Thanks for listening.